How you doing, everybody? Tim here once again, a view from the South Stands. I'm coming to you from the renovated palatial estate here in Toronto. Got to thank my sister, Deb, for painting the fence. Yes, I got a sister and got a good day's work out of her. She painted the fence. Thank you so much, sis. It looks really, really nice. There, business out of the way. On to the good stuff. And the good stuff, Sebastian Giovinco and Toronto FC. How about those Reds, eh? 4 on the hop now, undefeated. Had to go back into the database and take a look and see how long it's been since that happened. That was early 2010, ladies and gentlemen, before TFC had a streak as long as this. The only time that they've had streaks of this length was in 2010 and in early 2009, the year that they almost made the playoffs. That was a real signature win yesterday for a number of players. Sebastian Giovinco, who we'll get to in a moment. A couple of other players who I think deserve kudos as well. I think they're going to get lost in the shuffle a little bit behind all of the love for Seba. And that's young Eric Zavaleta and Warren Creval, who's starting to come into his own as well. And I'll get to both of those guys later. Now, going into DC, DC being the top team in the Eastern Conference, record-wise so far, looked like a pretty daunting prospect with no Michael Bradley, no Josie Altidore, or at least no Josie Altidore to start. We found out he was on the bench, which was a very pleasant surprise. And a team that had gone undefeated so far at home in 2015, a team with a lot of depth, a lot of scoring all around the team. On paper, that didn't look like the easiest of places for TFC to go to. And, of course, the bloody early goal. That one was all on Damien Perquis. Sadly, didn't cover his man on a very frustratingly, all too common set piece failure on the part of Toronto FC. The boys got 2 weeks off between games right now. Get bloody working on set pieces, Toronto FC. You got to get that sorted because it's one of the, at least on current form, one of the very few flaws that's manifesting itself in goals against for the Reds right now. Now, talking to the better half before I started filming this today, I said, do you know what? I said, I don't really know if I have anything else that I could say to do justice to how I feel about Sebastian Giovinco. And how amazing he's been for the Reds. The goals, 2 goal of the week candidates again. Obviously, he's setting himself up for MVP. He's got 7 goals so far. He's got 6 assists. A staggeringly huge number of shots, 61 shots, 28 shots on goal so far in 2015 for Sebastian Giovinco. Obviously, are setting him apart from anybody else in the league. He is the best player in Major League Soccer, period. End of paragraph, move on. There's nobody better in the league than him. And remember when I talked about D-Row last week, about how I felt every time that he was on the pitch, we had a chance to score. Every time I see Sebastian Giovinco on the pitch right now, I think we have a chance of winning, and winning well. And that goal, that game yesterday, was another superlative performance on his part. The couple of players I wanted to quickly mention, as well as I wanted to talk about Eric Zavaleta. A bit of an unsung hero, I think, the last few games. The kid is tall. He's athletic. He's been looking pretty calm. He wasn't at fault on that goal. Other than that brain cramp by Perquis, they actually had a pretty good game together. Zavaleta, of course, seems to have taken Nick Hagland's position as well. He's played himself into the team, and I don't think he's done anything in the last few weeks to warrant him being excluded from the team going forward from here. He's until Caldwell comes back, and until Hagland fights his way back into the team, or until Zavaleta actually has a stinker of a game. I think he's going to be the starting center back with Perquis. Warren Creval, who we all know has struggled at times in 2015 for Toronto FC as a fullback, has been excelling as a midfielder. I thought he was absolutely fabulous yesterday. I thought he had a whale of a game. I actually put that on Twitter, and he actually retweeted me. So thank you, Warren, for retweeting that. That was very nice to see. I'm glad you actually are checking out what fans are saying about you, because you actually deserved a lot of kudos. And I'm speaking to you now, Warren. You actually had a really good game. I thought you tracked back. You kept the ball in front of you. You actually stretched the field and actually had a couple of attempts to score as well. I thought you were excellent yesterday, and it's really good to see that the fullback experiment has ended. He's a very useful player to have. I don't know if he's a starter every game, but he's a very useful player to have in the midfield for Toronto FC, especially with the Gold Cup coming, of course, and players like Osorio and Bradley going to be away. Now, the other thing I want to very quickly mention today is Greg Vanney. I've been fairly critical of Vanney in this space, and I don't think a lot of those criticisms have been unfounded. I think I've been as fair as I can be, but I really liked what he did yesterday late in the game when it came to his aggressiveness. DC was finishing up a 5 games in 15 days hell of a schedule. They had done well in the first 4 games, but it started to become evident, I think, to all concerned, in particular Mr. Vanney, that DC started to look leggy late. They brought on some players. Some of their players were just absolutely, completely knackered from all of those minutes that they've been playing over the last couple of weeks. So he takes advantage of it, brings on Altidore, and just as an example, Altidore did a dummy. If you don't know what a dummy is, basically the pass from Shearu came through to Altidore. Altidore basically skipped out of the way, did a little dummy, they call it. The ball went to Giovinco, and he did that screamer from 25 yards to win the game. I really like the fact that he looked at what was in front of him and said, yeah, a point would be great in DC, but do you know what? I think we've got an opportunity here to do something better. And he took advantage of that opportunity, and I think he deserves to be congratulated on his aggressiveness and seeing tactically an opportunity to secure what might be 2 absolutely precious points between now and the end of the season. Now we've got a break. We're into the international break, and other than all of those set-piece drills that I hope they continue to do, we've got Bradley, maybe Altidore, we've got Jonathan Osorio heading away for national team duty. There's also rumors that Sebastian Giovinco might be heading out on international duty as well. Again, we'll see what happens there. All I hope for all 4 of them is that there's no injuries, that everybody is safe and sound. They come back healthy, happy, and wise, because TFC has 2 very winnable home games ahead. We've got New York City FC, who's pretty well the worst team in the league right now. It's fair to say they're an expansion team, and they're struggling. And we're not going to have to worry about Frank Lampard. He's not going to be available to them until July. So, yeah, it's kind of sad we're not going to see old Frankie. But I think that's 3 points that TFC should have a really good chance of securing. Then we've got the Montreal Impact at home, and then we've got DC at home to finish out the month of June. So 2, maybe 3 very winnable games between now and the end of the season. So Vanney yesterday talked about as well how TFC is potentially contenders for the East right now. Still think that's a little early, especially when you take a look at that cheap goal that we conceded early on. I think we're contenders in the East for a home playoff spot, and I think that's something that this team should be shooting for. Anything beyond that is absolute gravy. So Seba, maybe I need to start learning Italian and find some complimentary things to say, because I'm out of positive things to say about our best player, the best player we've ever had, and the best player in the league. Come on, you Reds. That was a great result last week. This week, I should say, this past Saturday. And in 2 weeks, they'll be playing New York City. Between there's a Canadian national team World Cup qualifier against Dominica at BMO Field, which I'll be attending. And then, of course, we've got the D-Row testimonial and the game against NYC. So thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful couple of weeks, and we'll talk to you soon. Cheers.